channel. So now we need to repot the cattleya siamese kiwi that I have recently bought from Schwerter. Now I must confess I have squeezed really well this pot off camera because it is a very hard material and it took quite a bit of strength to do, so now I will just pull it on. As I was saying, it is a very hard one, but it's a very good pot actually, and I think I might reuse it. So here we have a very pot-bound orchid, and she is potted in some moss, which is decomposed and smells quite bad. It is so compacted that I did bring my tweezers to remove it from between the roots. Now I'm not sure how many of these roots will actually survive in semi-hydro, but I will try to be as careful as I can. And also you need to make sure you remove all these sheets, all these dried sheets, because they are of no use for the orchid and they are just places for pests to harbor. Now I can see on top of the medium some remains that we might actually have snails, so but you never know when you see a trail like that if it was a snail or a slug. So always make sure you spray the orchid with hydrogen peroxide. Orchids are one of the favorite foods of snails, so yeah. At first I will remove it with my fingers as much as I can, and here on the top seems to be a bit more loose, a bit more fluffy, let's say, this moss, so yeah, I'm trying with my fingers. It seems a very dusty one, a very, how can I call it? It is not the long strain moss, that is what I'm trying to say, or most of it at least, because look what we have in here. So yeah, this will be quite a long process, guys, so at some point I might speed the video over, so make a sort of a time lapse. I cannot really understand why someone would compact so badly the medium. I just cannot tell. This doesn't do good to the roots, because they really cannot breathe through this compacted medium. Look at that. It is compacted and solid and horrible, just horrible for the roots. So when you are using moss, you should try to keep it as fluffy as you can. Like, you don't need to compress it, to press on it, to do any of those things. I'm actually happy that the orchid is not root bounded as I initially thought, but here we do have quite a bit of roots, but at least on one side the moss was easier to remove. I think this orchid will love semi-hydro. She does tend to produce quite tall pseudobulbs, even though these are not as tall. She can produce, that is her nature, and she will love to have constant moisture and of course a lot more air than she has now on the roots, I mean. might actually not need to use anymore the tweezers, guys. I think I have here most to put 10 orchids, not only one. But you should never use the medium from one orchid to another one, because it can have pests, and also if the orchid has any disease, it will transfer. And especially here I refer to fusarium, of course, the dreaded fusarium. Yeah, I kind of got over that disease. I know now how to rescue my orchids, and of course not all orchids can be rescued from fusarium, but most of them in my care with the fungicides that I apply can totally be saved, and that is what I'm doing. I remember when I was so scared of it that I just throw away some orchids, and I'm so sorry for that now, because I had some very nice specimens, or some nice yeah, specimens, and I'm not sure if I will be able to ever find them again. And on this part I do seem to have more roots. So at some point it seems that the orchid was potted in a 9 centimeter pot. It was root bounded, and then they just put it in this larger pot with a ton of moss. And they did, or the orchid did adjust it to that new size of the pot. So at this point I will just use the tweezers, because it is just too compacted, guys. So I will pause the video now, and I will come back when I'm done. Okay, and here we are. This was basically a root masker. I had to snap so many roots, you cannot imagine, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of them now are damaged and one survive, but at least I have new root tips forming from the new growths. We can see there, and here it seems that I managed to completely snap a root tip. That is that. Hopefully she will produce some more. Yeah, as I said, this repotting was horrible, so I'm really looking forward to get over it. And now I have sprayed the root system with hydrogen peroxide. This should kill any snail or snail eggs, and yeah, I'm going now to repot her in semi-hydro. These roots are stiff, they are still alive, so I won't cut them just now, but in about 2 months I'm pretty sure that a lot of them will be dead, and then I will go and cut the dead ones off. So in about 2 months I will need to intervene once again. And yeah, I will put the orchid, I think, yeah, I have enough space. I will put some leca on the bottom to fill up the reservoir. This is enough, and now I will put the roots in here. These ones that you are seeing that I am putting in a sort of a circle, they were on top of the medium, so I am trying to put them in the same manner, because they are not used to have a lot of moisture around them. So that is what I am doing, and now I will start to add the medium. I still have some root remains. This is because I am reusing this medium, and of course I have sterilized it. I have put some boiling water on it, and yeah, that is the beauty of this medium, because we can reuse it. This is pretty much all I will do for now. Now I will put the orchid outside. I won't water it just yet, because in about a few hours I need to water all my orchid collection, so I will water her then. Of course, water with fertilizer, as you already know. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that the orchid will establish quite fast in this medium, because she has root tips, new growing root tips, yeah, those will ensure the orchid will take over the pot quite nicely. Here I still have a sheet that I didn't remove. I also need to do spraying on my collection for pests. I'm doing that 2 times a year, just to ensure that we don't have any of them lurking inside my orchid collection that I didn't spot. So I need to do some time to do that as well. But for now, this is pretty much all, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye!